It's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to Throwback. Flyersguy, this is my first episode of Throwback Flyersguy of 2026. I'm sorry about that, I didn't really get a chance to do an episode last week. I had a lot going on. But this week I do have an episode for each and every one of you. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about when I was a kid and I used to go to the mall. I'm going to talk about my experience with going to the mall when I was young. My mall experience. And the reason I wanted to do this episode was because a lot of malls are starting to close down. Internet shopping has taken over, and the mall has suffered, just like many different things in this world. VCRs, going to toy stores, and buying physical copies of video games. I saw a video about the Chamonix Mall on YouTube, and I was inspired to do this video about my experience going to the mall over the years. When I was a young kid, the mall that we used to go to a lot was the Little Girls Mall, but we also would go to the Roosevelt Mall. That mall was located on Continent Avenue, and that was the Roosevelt Mall. It was Philly's first outdoor mall. It was one of the first outdoor malls in Philadelphia. When I was a kid, I remember that was the first mall that I actually experienced going to, was the Roosevelt Mall. And the Roosevelt Mall was a very unique mall because it was an outdoor mall. All the shops were outdoors, and you could walk around. You know, bit of an inconvenience when it's cold out, but when it's hot out in the summer, that place is popping. Not so much now because not a lot of people go to the mall anymore because they have the luxury of staying home and shopping on websites like Amazon and eBay and all kinds of internet shopping sites. And that was the first mall that I was introduced to. I remember going to the Little Girls Mall a couple of times. I remember going to the Little Girls Mall a couple of times. And that was our go-to mall. That's even a mall that is constantly talked about on the TV show The Go-Birds. And that was the mall we used to go to. I remember going to that mall. When you go to a mall, you have that smell. The smell of the food court, the smell of all the shops, and the smell of the toy store. I myself love going to KB Toys. I also enjoyed Chick-fil-A. My first time eating Chick-fil-A was at the Little Girls Mall at one point in my life. And that's how I got into Chick-fil-A, was because of going to the mall. Not only that, going to the mall was a fun experience. And Little Girl Mall was one of my favorite malls. I also remember going to the Oxford Valley Mall the first time with my dad. Well, not a couple of times. And I remember going to that mall. And that was a really big mall. You know, even a mall like that has suffered in these years. I also think the pandemic was a big reason that a lot of businesses suffered, but the mall suffered way before the pandemic. Around 2017, there were signs that malls were closing. There were signs that a lot of places in the mall were not there anymore. 2017 was the first inclination of of, of the of the demise of the shopping malls. And in a way, I like talking about these old shopping malls because I like to preserve these malls. I think I did go to Franklin Mills Mall at one time in my life. I remember at my memorial school where I went to, a lot of the high school classes took field trips to the Franklin Mills Mall. I don't even recall if I've ever been to the Franklin Mills Mall in my life. But Oscar Valley was one of my top favorites. Well, Grove was as well. I really like the Roosevelt Mall for its unique outdoor aesthetic. But the Mechanic Mall was a very unique mall. It was a one-floor mall, but it was a great mall. A lot of great places there. They also had a nice little arcade they also had a little carnival area as well. My favorite places to go in malls were Auntie Anne's. When I was a kid, it was Shavy's Place. And when I got a little older, it was GameStop. So Oxford Valley Mall was where I got my first copy of Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation. And that's the mall where I also got a copy of Digimon. Oxford Valley was also the mall where Dad got me a copy of Digimon World 2. Honestly, I miss the whole experience of just walking into the mall, all the great smells of the mall, the smell of soft pretzels, the toy store. The mall had a very unique smell to it. I recall going to the Gallery Mall back in 1995, and that was even a very cool experience as well. So Philadelphia, we have some of the best. In my opinion, we have some of the best malls. From Oxford Valley to the Chamonix to Willow Grove to the Roosevelt Mall, we have some of the best malls here in Philadelphia. Not just in the city, but in the state. I remember going to Wilkes-Barre and going to a mall in Wilkes-Barre. And that was a really big mall as well. And my experiences with going to the mall were really a great childhood experience. The last time I went to the mall was in 2017. It was in the Chamonix Mall. And the last time I went to a mall with my dad was in 2014. Was in 2015. Best thing about the mall, just walking around that nice hallway, listening to the music, playing on a loudspeaker, exploring all the great shops and great places. I feel like that experience has changed drastically. And from what I see in these YouTube videos of all the malls in Philadelphia, not just in Philadelphia, but all around the world, it's pretty sad to see these places close. Because they hold a lot of great memories. Walking around with the family, going to the food court, getting something good to eat was always a great experience as well. Great experience as well. I miss that experience. You know, one day I'm thinking about just walking through one of these malls one day. Just one last time. Because honestly, I think the best way to pay our respects to these great malls is to go to them, walk around, explore them, pay tribute to your childhood by visiting these malls. You know, technology has really taken over. From video games to TV shows to streaming apps to TV shows. This world has changed drastically. And many of the things we love are from the past. But it's good to remember those moments, to preserve those moments, to hang on to those moments we have in our favorite malls. Whether you're a fan of the Chamonix Mall, the Oxford Valley Mall, the Frankfurt Mills Mall, and yes, I'm still going to call it that because I hate the name that they call it now. The Roosevelt Mall, or the Willow Grove Mall. These places hold a lot of memories for each and every one of us. We can pay our respects to these places that we love by visiting them, walking around in them, paying them a visit. It's the great way to preserve our wonderful memories of these great malls. Guys, thank you for joining me here on this edition of Throwback Flyersguy. I'll see you next time. I got something I really need to talk about in my next episode. Guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Thank you.